Hello and welcome to your weekly dispatch, where we'll give you a rundown of news stories of national, regional, and international significance. Here's what stood out for us this week. An earthquake in Morocco and storm flooding in Libya have amounted to an accumulated death toll close to 10,000 people, with thousands more injured, displaced, and otherwise affected. Google finds itself in hot waters as US lawmakers level allegations of the tech giant manufacturing a monopoly over search engine supremacy. China has appointed a new envoy to Afghanistan in a bold move, as foreign governments remain reluctant to recognize the Taliban government in Afghanistan. And for our feature story, we're looking at the rising tensions between Pakistan and Afghanistan, resulting in the closure of the Torkham border, hindering trade and causing distress. Stay tuned for a deeper look at these stories. Recently, North African countries have been dealing with severe natural disasters. Both Libya and Morocco have been affected by devastating events. Morocco experienced a powerful earthquake with a magnitude of 6.8 on the Richter scale, which caused significant damage. The earthquake originated in a remote area of the high Atlas Mountains and had a shallow depth, making its impact even stronger. This earthquake, the most significant in Morocco in the past 100 years, has already resulted in the deaths of around 3,000 people, and the number of casualties is expected to increase. It has also affected the lives of over 300,000 individuals. Meanwhile, on the eastern coast of Libya, a relentless storm named Daniel has caused widespread destruction. Cities like Benghazi, Bayda, and Derna have been heavily affected, with Derna suffering the most. Unfortunately, the death toll in Libya has already reached 6,000 and is likely to rise as recovery efforts continue. The situation in Libya is further complicated by the country's history of conflict, including NATO interventions. The affected areas also fall under competing administrative authorities based in Tripoli in the west and Tobruk in the east. Despite power struggles between the two factions, flood assistance and response has opened up communication channels, and both sides are coordinating to ensure relief efforts reach affected people. And now for some tech news. An antitrust trial is currently taking place in Washington, D.C., where the U.S. Department of Justice and 52 state attorneys general are accusing Google of illegally maintaining a monopoly in the search engine market. They claim that Google achieved this dominant position by paying large sums of money to partners like Apple to ensure that its search engine is the default option on most devices and browsers, resulting in a 90% market share in the US. Google denies violating antitrust laws and argues that its agreements were a legitimate form of competition rather than exclusionary practices. While other countries have taken action against tech giants such as Google, Apple, Facebook, and Amazon, the US has been relatively lenient until recently, when the Cambridge Analytica scandal brought increased scrutiny. This trial highlights the growing concern over monopolistic behavior, as Google is accused of using its search engine dominance to suppress competition and pay other companies, including Apple, to maintain its stronghold. It also reflects the heightened efforts to address antitrust issues within the tech industry. Zeroing in on the region, China has taken a significant diplomatic step by appointing a new ambassador to Afghanistan, making it the first country to do so since the Taliban's takeover in August 2021. It is worth noting that the Taliban government has not yet received official recognition from any foreign government. It is still unclear whether this appointment indicates a broader willingness to formally recognize the Taliban regime. While there are other diplomats in Kabul with the ambassadorial title, they assumed their positions before the regime change. Moreover, China has been intensifying its diplomatic efforts with the Afghan Taliban. China also sees Afghanistan as an opportunity to invest in stabilizing a historically unstable region and addressing its security concerns regarding Uyghur separatism in Xinjiang. This Chinese initiative to create a more stable Afghanistan aligns with its broader strategic goal of advancing its economic interests in the region. China has already been pursuing a significant $62 billion economic corridor project with Pakistan and has signed a substantial $400 billion economic and trade agreement with Iran, both aimed at solidifying its economic interests in the region. This development highlights the changing dynamics in Afghanistan's geopolitical landscape. The key question now is whether China's action will encourage other countries to increase their engagement with the Afghan Taliban. And now for our feature story. The main border crossing between Afghanistan and Pakistan has once again found itself at the center of tensions, leading to its closure. The recent clash between security forces from both countries has left thousands of vehicles and travelers stranded. The dispute rose when Afghan authorities were accused of constructing an unlawful structure on Pakistani territory near the Torkham border crossing. In response to this perceived violation, Afghan troops reportedly resorted to indiscriminate firing when confronted by Pakistani forces. Despite several attempts at diplomatic meetings between officials from both sides, the dispute remains unresolved, exacerbating the situation at the border. The Torkham border point is of great importance for travelers and the movement of goods between Pakistan and landlocked Afghanistan. However, this vital crossing has been marked by intermittent closures and outbreaks of heavy gunfire in recent times. These tensions have been further fueled by the frosty relations between Afghanistan and Pakistan since the Taliban's return to power in Kabul 2 years ago. Islamabad, in the meanwhile, has also accused its neighbor of sheltering militants responsible for attacks on Pakistani soil. Despite these tensions, both nations have shared mutual interests. Afghanistan, in particular, relies heavily on Pakistan for trade and humanitarian assistance, owing to its landlocked status. Meanwhile, Pakistan has its own aspirations, seeking to establish itself as a crucial hub for regional economic connectivity, especially as it endeavors to link up with Central Asia. In this pursuit, a peaceful and economically stable Afghanistan is imperative. I am Hajira Asaf Khan, and this was your weekly dispatch.